They say the sea remembers every shipwreck, every storm, every man swallowed by the waves. The ocean keeps their stories, but some disappearances the sea won't explain. It was December 1900 when a supply ship approached the Flannan Isles Lighthouse, a lonely stone tower standing on the edge of the world, battered by wind, surrounded by endless Atlantic. Inside should have been 3 men, Thomas Marshall, James Duckett, and Donald MacArthur. But as the vessel drew close, something felt wrong. The great light at the top and the beacon that guided ships through black seas was dark. No one came to greet them, no smoke from the chimney, no movement at all. When the rescue crew landed, the first keeper's logbook was found open, the last entry dated December 15th. Severe storm today. Sea raging, prayers all around. But the strangest note came from the next day. Storm ended. Sea calm. God is over all. The men had vanished between those 2 lines. Inside, the kitchen table was set for a meal. Chairs overturned, one missing entirely. One raincoat was gone, but the other 2 still hung neatly on the wall. The clocks had stopped, and the heavy iron door, built to withstand hurricanes, stood wide open. Down by the cliffs, investigators found ropes torn loose and a small box smashed against the rocks. It looked as though the men had rushed out in a panic. But why would all 3 leave the tower at once, breaking every rule of lighthouse protocol? The official theory said a giant wave swept them into the sea, but no one could explain the signs of order inside, the unspoiled food, the logbook carefully closed, and the weather reports from that day showed no storms near the island. Locals had their own stories. Fishermen spoke of strange lights moving over the cliffs that night. Not lightning, but glowing orbs dancing against the wind. Others swore the lighthouse itself shone before it was ever lit, as if someone or something had kept the light burning. Years later, sailors claimed to see a figure standing by the lantern room when the island was supposed to be empty. Some said it was MacArthur, the youngest keeper, still watching the seas he could never leave. Others believed it was the sea itself, wearing a man shape, keeping its own vigil. The logs before the final entry offered one last unsettling clue. Marshall had written that the men were crying and praying during the storm, strange words for hardened seamen who had faced tempests their whole lives. Whatever they saw that night, it wasn't just weather. Even now, more than a century later, the Flannan Isles remain empty. The lighthouse still stands, its light automated, soulless, mechanical, tireless. But the locals say that on certain nights, when the wind howls just right, you can still hear 3 voices in the gale, calling each other's names, forever trying to find their way home. And sometimes, ships passing through report seeing the light flicker, once, twice, 3 times, just before the fog rolls in. The keepers are gone, the records are clean, but the sea, as always, remembers. Drop a comment below. What's your theory? And don't forget to subscribe as we continue exploring the unknown beyond the veil.